It all seemed such a long time ago. Amidst the mediocre season that followed the championship, Kenny Dalglish had left his job as director of football. And now, as the club geared up for a new campaign, that other pillar of Rovers' championship winning side, Alan Shearer, packed his bags for his hometown of Newcastle, where before the season was out, he would link up once more with Dalglish. The news hung over Blackburn like the smoke clouds of years gone by. Anyone who expected the announcement of a transfer coup to replace Shearer waited in vain, and in fact the fans would have a long wait indeed for good news from Ewood Park. Tottenham Hotspur delivered the first blows, a 2-0 defeat on the opening day. And when in midweek Aston Villa added a 1-0 defeat to that, the pundits were ready with their pencils to scribble what devastation Shearer's loss had wrought. Our first point came at Old Trafford, thanks to goals from Paul Warhurst and Lars Bohinen.
Couple in the middle, Kevin Gallagher's unattended, and it is a goal for Blackburn Rovers. Paul Warhurst right on the line. Well, it had to come. They're finally taking a chance, but what about Manchester United's Martin? Absolutely free header. He shakes his head, the goalkeeper. For once, I might have to agree with him. Look at the marking here. Look at Gallagher. An absolute acres. It's a wonderful cross. Great header. A brilliant save. And as we can see, it's Warhurst's goal. Gallagher may have done all the work with a lovely, astute header there. But it's Warhurst's goal because it isn't over the line when he's tucked it in. You have to say it's deserved. They've had a really good opening to this match, Blackburn, and the build-up plays deserved a goal. Donis, he plays for Greece against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Terrific play by Bohinen, brilliant play! And it's got past Schmeichel for a glorious goal, and Blackburn are back in front, and all the work of Lars Bohinen. Well, that's as good an individual goal as you're likely to see from a team coming to Old Trafford, and quite rightly his manager applauds it. Lovely build up the midfield again. It was so patient, but watch Bohinen, it's all about him. His determination to work an angle, twists and turns. The only thing I'm surprised about is that Peter Schmeichel's beaten on his near post. As he cuts inside, cuts outside, he hits it. You don't usually see Peter Schmeichel beaten from that sort of angle into that sort of area. Just doesn't get his hand across there. It's a decent height for the goalkeeper. But what a good run from Lars Bohinen.
The single point would be our only one for another 3 games. The gloom descended again as Rovers fans saw their team lose to Leeds, then promoted Derby County, both at Ewood.
But Carvin did enough. Coleman again. Sutton. Hendry coming in on the far post, a brilliant catch, but he's lost it, and it's diverted in. Sutton gets his goal, and Blackburn are level. 9 minutes gone.
And a bitter pill to swallow was to lose at St James's Park, with Shearer's strike from the penalty spot the unkindest cut of all.
Shearer's up. Oh, is it in? Wrong struck it. Goal given. He goes again, Benton. And he really is being roundly booed every time he gets the ball for something that happened last season. Here's Sutton. Good effort. Oh, it's a goal. Chris Sutton gets one back for Blackburn Rovers.
The run of home defeats was broken when Everton visited Ewood. It should have been a win, but whilst Rovers failed to convert a wealth of chances, Everton put away their only one.
Donis is away here. He's gone for goal. It's a good strike. Didn't miss by much. Tremendous pace. Looked up to see if there was anyone in the box. There wasn't. So he rightly went for goal. Through ball, and Duncan Ferguson's got a real chance here. Good stop. Brilliant save there to deny Ferguson. Absolutely fantastic. brilliant individual goal for Giorgio Donis, and Blackburn go ahead. Look at his acceleration, past two players, then past the third, and from there he just poked it into the back of the net. Hinchcliffe delivers these well. It's no difference, and it got a flick on at the near post, and Unsworth has scored. It's level at 1-1. Sherwood. Touch on by Sutton. There's Donis again. Oh, it's a good ball in there, real chance! And that should have been 2-1 to Blackburn. Donis, a good ball in, real opportunity, but over the bar. Here we are again with Donis. He's having a super match, and Southall just scrambles it away. Looks a good player, doesn't he? Fine strike that, was travelling, it's a good save, and that was excellent.
And the story was the same in the next game at Coventry, where creativity was in abundance, but went unrewarded.
Now a real chance for Blackburn here. Two men in the penalty box. Couldn't pick either of them out. Kevin Gallagher. Here comes the corner. Real chance at the far post, and the man on the post did his job to deny Sutton. Good run out from the back from Lars Bohinen, lovely ball through. Good strike, but wide. Donis going for goal. Space again. Sutton in the middle. Good turn from Benton, and a great ball in, but good goalkeeping from Agrizovic. Gary McAllister. Too late by Sherwood, but there's Salako. Salako still going. Straight at the keeper. Bohinen again. Now this is Donis. He's pulled it back nicely. Real chance, good strike. Should have hit the target. 0-0.
No, I think it was a good performance, if a bit wasteful at times, but it was solid, and it was hard to beat, and we were quite effective on the counter-attack. We just didn't take our chances.
Indeed, you had a number of chances, didn't you?
I thought we did. I thought we had many opportunities. The final ball was a bit lacking, and the selections were wrong sometimes. But overall, it was quite a solid performance. I think Nicky Marker come and did a good job for us at right back, and Gary Croft had a good game at left back. I thought Chris Coleman had his best game of the season for us. We looked quite solid across the back.
But the elusive win never came for Ray. Arsenal were the next Ewood visitors to go away with all 3 points. As Arsenal fans cheered their new manager, Arsene Wenger, Blackburn Rovers' Blue and White Army turned their fire on Harford, despite the absence of injured defenders Hendry, Coleman and Lasso.
Here's Ian Wright. Oh, good touch by Wright. Superb. A magnificent goal. Absolutely lethal.
The defensive trio were missed once more at Hillsborough.
Good turn from David Hurst. Not a bad ball in either, and Andy Booth has scored for Wednesday. Oh, Sherwood's in there. Good shot by Sherwood off the post. And driven by Bohinen, and there was never any stopping that.
The game was very similar to all our away games. I mean, we've played 6 away games now, and they've all been very similar. We've been stodgy and reasonably organised and hard to beat. It's our home games that really cut our throats, because we can't get anything going at home at the moment. But as soon as we do, I think if we perform away as we've been doing, it should be okay.
Rovers' Coca Cola Cup third-round game against Stockport County. The humiliation of that defeat, coupled with the desperate league position, caused Ray Harford to offer his resignation, which the club accepted. First-team coach Tony Parks became caretaker manager for the third time in his career with the club.
You'd been caretaker manager before. What were your thoughts this time round when they asked you again?
Well, it was certainly a tough task, bottom of the Premiership, but if nothing else, you know, I like to give it a go. You always like to test, you know, your managerial skills at whatever level, but certainly when I look back, it looked a far more daunting task than it did at the time, to be quite honest. I mean, I was full of optimism and I went in a positive mood, and that probably clouded a little bit of the devastation that we were in.
So what were the significant changes you made going into that first game, which was at West Ham?
Well, the intentions were to try and get a result. I mean, I've done that every time I've took over. I'm not too bothered about how the team play. It's just we need to get a result, whether it's a draw, whether it's a win. And that's how I've felt for many, many months, to be quite honest with you. The significant changes, there was a slight difference in formation. I brought Billy McKinley in into midfield, who were desperate to play, who was on the verge of, you know, leaving the club. I think he'd made it clear to Ray that he wanted to leave if he wasn't going to be a first-team player at Blackburn. So he had something to prove. And I think the formation gave the lads a little bit of a lift. And we went to West Ham. And although we lost the game to an Edinburgh OG, there were a lot of positive things came out the game. And it, you know, I looked at that and I thought, well, if they can do that and compete like that, then there's a chance that we're going to get out of this.
And on top of that, the tactical switches, the tactical changes, there were key players coming back from injury who've been sadly missed in the early months.
Well, yeah, Graham Lasso was certainly one of those. I mean, Graham had an horrific injury against Middlesbrough, probably 8-9 months earlier, but Graham was only about 80% fit. So I'd seen Graham train. He'd played 2 or 3 reserve games, and Graham had got enough positive things to come back at West Ham. He'd still got a lot of catching up to do in his own fitness and his own high standards, but Graham is excellent on the ball, and when you've got somebody like Graham Lasso in the team, then other players respond to him as well, and he lifts other players by being there, and he certainly was one, you know, who'll give the team a lift.
Edinburgh. Blackburn playing it out from the back. Forward by Lesseurts. Good play from Graham Fenton. Corner for Rovers. Wilcox will take it. Into the penalty spot. Sherwood helping it on. Berg with the volley. Has scored for Rovers. Well, he pops up now and again with the odd goal, and that one's a vital one for Blackburn Rovers. Good jump by Sherwood, gets free of Dix. And on the volley, Berg turns it in. Good finish. Julian Dix. Another back crossfield ball, actually. Dowie into the penalty area, and Porfirio scored. Rovers have begged back to level terms. Hugo Porfirio, and Dowie picked him out well, and he got it on the blind side. Nobody picked him up. 1-1. Porfirio again. And that's given straight back to the Hammers. And Bishop. Oh, it's a beautiful crossfield ball by Bishop. And in comes the cross, and Berg, what was he thinking about, has scored through his own net. Well, Lazaridis is claiming it, but it was really chaos for Henning Berg.
We'd come back from West Ham, we'd still got 4 points from 11 games, and I looked at the next fixture and it was Liverpool. And honestly, I looked at that and I thought, well, where is our first win going to come from? So we decided again to be positive. I mean, I'd worked on the theme of being positive, trying to be light-hearted with the situation. I said, because we'd had the doom and gloom of the 10 previous games, and that hadn't done much good for us. So I set my mind out to be quite positive. And certainly on the Friday morning before we played Liverpool, you know, we had a game plan against Liverpool that I thought might work. I mean, I weren't so sure how it would work to win 3-0, but I thought it's a chance of getting a result. And, you know, it did turn out to be the turning point. It was 3 points that we desperately need, but it was an excellent performance as well that, you know, were tremendous.
Pushing hard on it. Blackburn closing down well early stages. Good play. Lovely through ball by Sherwood. And is that a penalty kick against Chris Sutton? It's been given. Blackburn handed the perfect start. And a yellow card for Phil Babb. Steve Lodge from Barnsley, the referee, had no hesitation there. And a chance for Chris Sutton to give Blackburn the perfect start. And he made no mistake at all. Sherwood's pass sprung the offside trap. Connection there, and the penalty's been given and scored. 1-0 Rovers. And this is how to take a penalty. Struck it firm and true. James went the wrong way. Not the best throw out from James, that put his team under pressure. And here's Wilcox, goes for the far post. Gallagher heads it back. And arriving there with a good strike. Well, that was a real effort. Wilcox picked out Gallagher, he headed it back well. And McKinley really struck it like a rocket. Deflected wide. Good turn, good strength, lovely nutmeg. It's fine play. And Rovers buzzing all round. Here's Gallagher. Oh, that's not a bad ball. James has missed it. And that was a real chance for 2-0. Gary Flitcroft with the header. Gallagher beat his man. It's a good deep cross, it tempted the keeper and he couldn't get there. And had Flitcroft hit the target, that was 2-0. Good play from Rovers. Gallagher with another chance, the cross must be, and here's 2-0. Wilcox with the far post tap in. No more than Rovers deserve. Gallagher again did well, whipped it across, and Wilcox was in bags of space. 2-0 Blackburn. Passing the ball well. Good football this is. to see. Sherwood again out wide. Gallagher, another good ball in, great goal! Super header from Sutton at the end of a delightful move from Rovers. 3-0. Liverpool not at the races. Gallagher with the final ball in, Sutton across the defender for number 3. Good control by Chris Sutton, and Wright climbing all over him. And the free kick has been given. Ball just about 10 yards. Sherwood cracks it. Got a bit too much bend on that. Certainly got the bower. Just dragged it a bit too much. James Flitcroft to it first. He's had a good match. And here's the break by McKinley. And another corner. And still Rovers press. It's a good turn. Not a bad strike either. Lars Bohinen, he's got the class. Wasn't too far away to becoming goal number 4. Got hold of it well, just didn't get the curl. McAteer. Redknapp beaten. McKinley gets rid. And that's it. 2 from Sutton, one of them a penalty, the other from Wilcox. Liverpool blitzed 3-0.
Well, the game plan was to push 3 strikers up or 3 forwards onto their back 3 and not give them a minute to settle and hopefully win the ball as high up the pitch as we could, because we knew Liverpool wouldn't change. If they were put under pressure, they would still try and pass it to Barnes and pass it short, and we set out to make sure that we kept them in their half of the pitch. And at 3:20, I think we were 2 up, so they changed the formation after that. They went to a back 4, so we thought we were on our way to a victory, and as it proved, Chris Sutton scored again in the second half, and we won quite comfortably in the end.
And that key moment, the penalty decision in the first few minutes, really was the start that you'd have prayed for.
Well, it was the start we'd prayed for, and it was the way that we'd planned to do it, because we'd won the ball. I can remember Gary Flitcroft going in on, I think it was Matteo or Bab, I can't actually remember the player, just outside the box, and the ball broke away, and the next minute, you know, Chris Sutton's going into the box to be brought down, but it was just the way, exactly how we'd planned it, and it went perfectly on the day.
And you say goals change matches, it certainly helped the course of that one, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you can go 2 up at home early on, then it can work out to be a big win, and on that day, it certainly was the turning point of the season.
It was a dominant performance, but I think the reaction of the crowd said it all. It was almost as if you'd won the league in one match. Such was the relief.
Yeah, the relief of the 3 points, and who you win against as well. You know, to beat Liverpool at Ewood is certainly a big occasion for the fans, and to win it in them circumstances probably double the emotion on the day.
It was indeed a turning point in Blackburn's season. That first win was followed by 4 games without defeat, and then another 5. Rovers had turned the corner and were on the road back. Chelsea were the next opposition at Ewood.
Gary Flitcroft, he's done well, and keeps possession. In comes the cross. Sutton, and Gallagher's there, and that's the goal for Rovers. Kevin Gallagher deserves it for his early season form. And that'll do his confidence no harm at all. Held up well by Flitcroft. Ball in was helped on by Sutton, touched on again there, and it's a good first-time volley. Chelsea corner. Hughes being watched closely, he's taken out of the play. Oh, it's deflected, and that's cruel. A wicked deflection.
That vital point lifted Rovers off the bottom of the Premiership for the first time.
I mean, psychological things are a big thing in football. It's not all physical. The psychology is quite a big part of football. And to move anywhere in the league, you know, to move from bottom to next to bottom, is a psychological boost, because you're going up then, and that's where you want to be.
And of immense psychological importance would be the next two games against fellow strugglers at the bottom, Nottingham Forest and Southampton.
Himself into trouble, Chettle, and suddenly Sherwood is in a great position. Oh, another brilliant save by Crossley. Where would they be without this guy? Good play by Campbell. Fine ball for Allen. Now then, that looked debatable, and the referee has pointed to the spot. It's a penalty.
He's now given Forest a chance right at half-time from a psychological point of view to go ahead.
It's Stuart Pearce on his 500th appearance with a chance to score what could be such a vital goal for Nottingham Forest. He's done it! Here's Lasso again for Blackburn. Gallagher in a good position in the middle. Sherwood's in behind him. Flitcroft in the advanced role. That's a good ball across the bar. That is a brilliant goal. Gallagher takes the applause for an instinctive finish, but you go a long way to see better.
Well, that was good controlled build-up play there from Blackburn. Low ball eventually played in from Lasso, but the finish was magnificent. Outside of the right foot, little flick, gets tremendous power behind it, and I think it takes Crossley by surprise. It's given no time to react. Little flick of the foot in the back of the net.
And under pressure from Gallagher again. Oh, brilliant save, but he could be punished, and is. Wilcox hammers home the rebound, and Blackburn have turned a one-goal deficit into a 2-1 lead.
Well, Kevin Gallagher, single-handed, has turned this game upside down. Lovely little dummy there, side into his path. Great shot with his left foot. But look at the reaction from Wilcox. He's very, very alert. Realises that Crossley is struggling to hold it. He's quickly onto it and finishes in style. What a turnaround we've got now.
Well, Parks is on his feet again. Wilcox gets it back again. Good ball in as well to Sutton. Sherwood in support, and it's gone back to Sutton. Chance here. Very good save by Crossley. And how vital could that be?
Well, that could have been game-setting match, couldn't it? Great 1-2 here between Sherwood and Sutton. Sutton goes clear, Little can't get near him. Could have lifted it over the advancing Crossley. Tries to just slide it past him. But Crossley makes up with a great save.
Chettle pumps it in this time. Allen. He's done well here, Allen. He's done brilliantly, Allen, and turns it back to Campbell. Is it? Yes! Would you believe it? In stoppage time, Nottingham Forest finally scramble the ball home.
When you're round the bottom, the first thing you don't want to do is lose to that team. If you don't lose to that team, then that's not too bad. There's not much damage done. But you certainly don't want to lose to the bottom clubs. And this was the first one we had to meet. And as you say, they scored just before half-time to go 1 up. We came out second half and Kevin Gallagher caught fire for us for 5 minutes, scored a great goal, had one brilliantly saved by the keeper, which was knocked in on the follow-up, I think, by Jason Wilcox. And we were winning 2-1, and it was such a big, important game for us. I mean, I felt more nervous in that game than I did against the Liverpools and the Chelsea at home, because to get 3 points from that game would have been a huge lift for us. And the game went on, and you're looking at your watch, and eventually they scored deep into injury time to make it 2 each, and we were very disappointed at the time. But again, we didn't lose, and it was another point that we added to what we'd already got.
On to the Southampton game now at home at the end of November. Perennial strugglers once again, Southampton. It was a game you desperately had to win.
Yeah, we're looking at the home games to get us to a safe spot in the league, and Southampton was another one who were struggling. It was a totally different game to the Forest game. I thought it was quite a good football match, and at times I thought we got carried away by being too adventurous, because at that moment in time, or at that stage of the season, I wasn't too interested in us being full of entertaining football and not winning games or losing games. And we got a little bit carried away, and when it went to 2-1, I thought we were going to certainly drop a couple of points at that stage, and I think I took Billy McKinley off and George Donis came in, and I think he finished up creating us the winning goal. But I thought it was a very open game. I thought Southampton played quite well on the day. They missed a few chances. I think it was 1-1 deep into the game, and then they had one of their players sent off in about the 86th minute, and we scored in about the 87th, 88th minute, which again, looking back, what a crucial win for us.
Nicely taken on the chest. Good ball forward. Good strong play from Sutton. Chance of a cross here. Under the keeper's bar, real opportunity. And that could so easily have been the first goal. Gary Flitcroft threw himself into the box. Wilcox drove it back, and he didn't miss by much. Great run here, one-on-one with the keeper, Kevin Gallagher. And that was very good goalkeeping by Chris Woods. Sure, he got a touch at that. Kevin Gallagher, one-on-one. Just enough to deny him there, the keeper. Comes the corner. And Woods beaten in the air. And the referee's given a free kick. And Woods needs a bit of treatment.
So an enforced substitution for Southampton, replacing
Dave
Chris
Besant
Woods is
comes on to
Dave
replace
Besant.
him. Now the space opens up for Rovers. And is that a free kick on the edge of the penalty box? The referee's given it. Besant could get his first taste of the action here. Curled over there, and he does well. Dealt with that as well as could be expected. Had the base on it. Wilcox has got a brilliant left foot. Would have been a good goal. More Rovers pressure. So that was struggling to clear the ball. Still Gallagher. Now Wilcox, good ball in. Headed down, must be a goal. And Sherwood finishes it well. It's only a question of time. Wilcox's ball was a good one. It was headed down nicely by Sutton, and Sherwood's finish was class. Gallagher looks to Wilcox again. Oh, that's unselfish play. and really should have been number 2 for Kevin Gallagher, but he hit it straight at the keeper. Ostenstadt's in there. Ostenstadt might score and does. Southampton are right back in it. Ostenstadt the scorer. No offside given there. Kevin Gallagher looks round, sees that he's free. Gallagher's going to hit one from there, and it still could be a chance. Pheasant's lucky. Shot was too hot to handle for him, and on another day Chris Sutton might well have scored. Sutton pushed into touch, bit of after stuff going on there. And Roger Dilks takes the name of Chris Sutton. And Kenneth Moncau has been sent off. Well, it's a long episode. I think that's more for dissent than anything else. Rovers with a man advantage. Have to make it pay in these closing stages. Southampton hanging on. It's a good turn. It's good pace. It's an opportunity, and it's taken with aplomb. Wonderful finish from Chris Sutton with the left peg. Into his stride, left-footed, and past the keeper.
A 1-1 draw with Leicester City followed. Chris Sutton scoring his 7th goal of the season for Rovers.
Bumped forward again. Won by Sutton in the air. Sherwood off the line, and Sutton's there. And manages to squeeze it through the fog and into the back of the net. The Rovers fans might not have been able to see it through the haze. Late free kick for Leicester. Curled up to the far post. Marshall's there. 1-1.
Then there was a hiccup in the recovery as Rovers lost 1-0 at Wimbledon. The Dons had had an incredible run of success, and there was press speculation that Joe Kinnear might fill the manager's chair at Ewood. But given the dramatic turnaround underway, the papers also put Parks himself in the frame for the job.
I'd never dealt with the press as much as I have in the early weeks, and you know, I thought, well, I'm quite light-hearted when I talk to the press, and I think they took a long time to weigh me up. Certainly the ones who just came for an odd game. I think the ones who were there every game, they know me and they know how to take me. But there were one instance that early on everybody wanted me to throw my hat in the ring for the job, and which would have made a wonderful headline, but I never wanted the job, and I made it quite clear. And one pressman who jetted in from London on one occasion asked me if I wanted the job, and I said, no, I don't want the job. And he'd reported it in the Monday papers saying as though I didn't want the job. What I really meant was I wanted the job. So I thought, well, if they're going to answer my answers like that, there's no point in asking me the questions, because if I don't give them the right answer that they want, they'll make something up anyhow. But I've had some good fun with the press, and you know, I enjoy that side of it, and I'm sure they get a few different stories from what I say.
Well, can I ask you the $64 million question? Why didn't you want the job?
Well, I think if Ray Harford couldn't do the job, I mean, Ray's been a manager at 3 clubs, he's a top England coach, and if he found it difficult with the change in the club, then why should it be any different for myself? I do actually feel that I'm a short-term manager at Blackburn. I think they've tried it with the internal appointment of Ray, and that didn't work. And I think the club now need to get back to where they were 2 years ago. And I think the only way they can do that is for somebody to come in new and we start again. I mean, my intentions when I took over, as I've stated many, many times, were to get the team to safety. And that hasn't changed one iota, and that's what happened. But with a caretaker manager, a 6 months reign as a caretaker manager is a long, long time. And that's the reason I've never wanted the job. I think it's for an outsider to come in, and I think we need to get the team pushed forward with a chance to win the championship in the next couple of years or so.
But the demand for Parks to take the job permanently would only grow after the result against Newcastle.
Early throw in by Gallagher. Sherwood the chaser. And still Rovers press here. Good positive start. Real chance of a cross here for Sherwood. And it's not a bad ball in, and that's a good effort by Chris Sutton. Cleared in the end by the defence, but a good early lead. Alan Shearer back at Ewood Park. Glorious failure for his team in this fixture last year when they got so close. Hendry, lovely ball over the top. Brought down nicely. Sherwood looks for the first time lob. Wasn't too far away. Good effort from the skipper. Wilcox knocked it into his path. Cernacek was off his line. It was good thinking that. Just drifted over the angle. Late challenge gives Blackburn a free kick. Gallagher in really good nick at the moment. Sutton again knocks it down, and it's taken first time by Kevin Gallagher. Trouble in keeping the ball down, but again he was in the right place. Henning Berg with the perfect free kick. Sutton held off his man. It's a good header down, and on another day that could have whistled into the top corner. Wilcox, lovely through ball, real chance for Sutton, Chris Sutton. He might not get a better one. It's a one-on-one chance. Cernacek not happy with the defence. Split wide open there by Wilcox's through pass, and Sutton will feel that he should have hit the target from there. Sherwood. Ran straight into Peter Beardsley. Beardsley to Alan Shearer, gets a few boos, picks up Ferdinand. Good ball back for Batsy, good strike, fine stop, and blasted over. But that's the closest the visitors have come. And again, it's former Rover David Batty who struck it well. It's a very, very fine save by Tim Flowers. Beardsley, he's driven that one, but it's well controlled by Gillespie. Knocked a good ball in there, it's danger. Oh, and that's the strike, another good stop by Flowers. His second in succession. Strong running by Wilcox, still going. Evades the challenge. Good pace by Wilcox. Not a bad ball in. Real effort there by Chris Sutton. And again, he can't manage to hit the target. It's a good ball. It picked out Chris Sutton. He was stretching, but he just missed it. Chances at both ends. Still goalless. Lassau's throw. Kevin Gallagher will run onto that, flick down himself. Good play. Sherwood. And the overlapping run here could give Blackburn a real opportunity, and it's off the line. Headed back down again. Gallagher's there. He scored for Rovers. Kevin Gallagher. Sends the fans into ecstasy. Jeff Kenner pulling it back, hooks his foot round the ball. Cernacek out of his ground. The first strike cleared off the line, and when it came back in again, Kevin Gallagher was quickest to react.
They would be looking forward to the Newcastle game. There's probably 3 big games in the Premiership for the Blackburn fans. It'll be Newcastle, Liverpool and Manchester United. And Newcastle were the ones arriving on Boxing Day. And Alan, I know Alan's agent phoned me up one day and he asked me how the crowd would react to Alan. So he was a little bit concerned in his reaction. But, I mean, it's very difficult to know how the leaving of Alan affected different people. I mean, I could only speak for myself, and, you know, I wished him all the best. He'd done tremendous for Blackburn. I'd wished him all the best, and, you know, we'd follow his career with interest. But to a lot of the supporters, they don't think like yourself, and they still had bad feelings for him. And, you know, I mean, I can't say the supporters are wrong in how they treat Alan. It's an individual thing. But he didn't get the welcome I think he thought he was going to get. And hopefully that worked in our favour, and we finished up again, getting another vital 3 points.
And what was it like for you as a man, a Blackburn Rovers man through and through, sitting on the touchline, hearing your name chanted, Tony Parks' Blue and White Army, knowing that you were doing the job, you were doing what you've been brought in to do, to lift the team? How was that feeling?
It was tremendous. I mean, I'm no different to anybody else. I mean, I like to hear my name chanted for the right reasons. I like a pat on the back, like players do, and people in life do in general. So to hear that was brilliant. And I mean, the fans, I mean, I'd become a really popular person overnight. I mean, I've been here for 26 years, and the couple of months or even less I'd been in charge, it was like a new manager coming to the club, and people were looking at me in a different way. I mean, I couldn't go anywhere in Blackburn without, I was kind of a hero. And you know, that's I mean, that's what the fans think. I mean, it is so important to stay in the Premiership. I mean, for Blackburn to go down from the Premiership is a total disaster. I mean, for years and years we've been languishing in the 2nd and 3rd division, and now, you know, we'd got Jack Walker who'd come in, who'd spent all this money on, you know, putting the club on the map. We'd got a new training ground, we'd got the stadium built, we'd got a championship winning side, and to see us in that state 2 years later must have been, you know, a really devastating thing for a lot of the fans, as well as, you know, the people involved at the club. So from that point of view, I mean, you can see why they backed the team to stay in the Premiership.
You say you became a popular man overnight. That's you being modest, surely, because you've always been one of the most popular characters at this club.
Well, I mean, if I were popular before I took the reins as caretaker manager this time, then, you know, I couldn't go into Asda. You know, there were times in Asda I couldn't go into Asda without signing autographs. Now, for 25 years, I could go in Asda any day and nobody would want an autograph. That's how popular I'd become.
A 0-0 draw at Derby was something of an anticlimax after that ecstatic Boxing Day win over Newcastle. But it would be a happy new year for Rovers fans against Everton at Goodison Park.
Good interception by Lassau. Wilcox is onto it. Gallagher in the middle. That was a good opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, here they've built up, he's got free, and look at the great run that he makes, gets across people, and here he's just he's on his back foot just a little bit, and he just can't direct it into the goal, put a great little ball in. And Wilcox is always renowned for the early crosses into the box, and there just fallen away, and it just goes over the top of the bar.
Here's Gallagher meantime. Sutton plays it on. Sherwood. Blackburn in front. Tim Sherwood. And what a good move it was to open up the Everton defence.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, it's been coming as far as I'm concerned. It's a great little knockback, one touch, just into space. He's stretching just a little bit, but just gets enough on the ball to knock it past Neville Southall. That's a great little move. They've been threatening it, really, is that they've played some great little moves. They've got third man running, and people are running off the ball for them, and it's a deserved goal for them. It's a great little move and a great finish here.
Well, the last thing the team in Everton's position wanted was to go a goal behind. Gary Speed. Now Ebrel. It's all a bit tight out there for Everton, trying to weave triangles in a very restricted area, and inevitably have given the ball away. Gallagher. That's a good ball. Sutton with a chance to make it 2-0. Chris Sutton's 8th goal of the season, and it's greeted by the distressing sound for Joe Royle of boos from the Everton fans as they find themselves 2 down inside 32 minutes.
Well, it just shows you the passing and the movements here. Gallagher on the ball, nice little 1-2, and now he steps in, picks his spot, and here in off the post, but it's a great little fit, and it's more than he's deserved, actually, because he, for me, has been outstanding, I've felt. He's held things up, he's done things right, a little bit of a miss-hit, but sometimes the miss-hit that you hit like that go past Neville Southall.
What do Everton do about this situation now? Quiet, understated way, Tony Parks has done a very, very good job. And there's a terrible mistake by Ebrel, which has given Sutton possession, and onside, is he? Surely not. No, Gallagher offside. He thought he was onside, and so too did his Blackburn teammates, and the flag did look a little late. Berg gets it away, and that's a good ball. Sutton. He's got inside the defenders, chance for Sutton, and the deflection would have totally wrong-footed Neville Southall. As it happened, it deflected over the crossbar, and Blackburn only get a corner. It could easily have been a 3rd goal.
Well, here, I mean, it's a great little turn here. He sends him the wrong way. But Earl Barrett, typical, I nicknamed him the dog, because that's what he used to do. He would keep after you and after you, and there he made a challenge and deflected it over the bar.
Cross, which was dummy, and McKinley gets the shot in from a long, long way out, but the dummy cross there could have had Everton in all kinds of trouble. Big Duncan, the man who will battle for it if it comes skywards. But nothing's dropping right for Everton in and around that penalty box. Kanchelskis. It's a good cross by Kanchelskis, and the header just tipped over, unlucky. Gary Speed testing fouls to the full. Sutton with a lovely ball on, and a chance here for Sherwood to wrap it up for Blackburn.
Seven points from 3 games over the Christmas week had improved the league position. And there was more good news from Ewood as the appointment of top coach Sven-Göran Eriksson was announced. And Parks hastened to confer with the man he thought would be his boss next season.
If you compare him with a manager in this country, you would be saying Wenger. He was similar to a Wenger type. He's very quiet and studious, and opposite to what you imagine managers and coaches to be like in this country. I mean, he's had success all over the world, in Sweden, in Portugal. Although he's not won anything in Italy, he's still had his fair share of success. And he was probably at the time one of the top coaches in the world. And the ambition of Blackburn to go for a man like that showed everybody that they meant business.
Was there an inkling when you went out to see him that maybe things weren't quite right?
Not really. There were no inkling at all. We met on a Wednesday night. We had an hour or two together. Then he took us out for a meal, and there were no signs that he wasn't coming to the club. We discussed here the number of players we'd got, and he discussed one or two players he were interested in bringing to the club, and it were like just a normal meeting that you'd have with the manager who you'd expect to be coming to the club.
And as the rumblings got stronger and stronger that maybe something was up in Italy, did it come as a surprise when he eventually said, "No, I'm sorry, I've changed my mind"?
No, it didn't come as a surprise then, because it had gone on for a long, long time. But initially, it's like everything. The press and the media seem to have a thing against Blackburn, because if they're not talking about a manager not wanting to come, they're talking about a player who's going or a player who's coming in, or the coaching staff won't be here when the next manager comes in. So it would just kind of adding to everything else that goes on, with the press at Blackburn. But when it went on for a few months, and I mean that's how long it really takes for you to understand, well, there may be something true in what we're reading about, then it didn't really come as a shock when it actually happened.
How much harm do you think the Eriksson saga did to the club?
I think it did a lot of damage. I think it certainly did, because when I took over, obviously the players are thinking, well, we'll go along with Tony for a short time, but then we're having one of the top coaches in, and he'll take us on to better things. But I think when he wasn't coming, then the players were looking round and saying, well, where do we go from here? What's happening? And I think it did a lot of damage. I'm sure it did.
The new year, of course, means the entry of Premiership teams to the third round of the FA Cup. And Rovers were drawn at home to Port Vale, winning the tie by a single goal scored by Lars Bohinen. The visit to Ewood of Coventry City made it 3 straight wins in January.
Lars Bohinen spreading it wide, and there's plenty of room for Sherwood. On towards Sutton, first time strike! Just dragged it a touch, he's claiming a corner. Perfectly released ball by Sherwood, good strike there, and it did look to take a deflection wide. Henningberg. Oh, that's a beautiful ball. Wilcox controls it nicely. Gruzovic just rearranging the kit in the back of his net. Tries to order his defence. Corner for Blackburn. Oh, nicely worked, and into the back of the net. Chris Sutton scored. Straight off the training park and into the Premiership. And that was a pearler of a set piece. First man taken out to the edge of the area. Perfectly weighted by Lasso, and Gruzovic couldn't stop that one.
It's number 9 of the season. Number 9, Chris.
Beyond Dublin. Oh, that looked a little bit rash from Dublin. Two-footed challenge. And the referee wants a word with the Coventry striker. Won the ball fair and square there. But that is the sort of challenge that can be harmful. And he's gone. Sent off. Blackburn with a man advantage. Graham Lasso. Sherwood. Good control by Lasso there. And Flitcroft now. Gives Kenner a bit to do, but he's got there, Jeff Kenner. This is Wilcox now in the middle. It's a good ball, clipped up there. Sherwood hits the post, might have scored, and driven in. Number 2, and Kevin Gallagher's got it. Good build-up play to that goal. Gallagher driving it in. Sherwood might have scored before with his head, but it came back rattling off the upright, and then it was hammered straight back in. Freedom in the box, no offside flag, didn't quite make the right connection. My word, that was the right connection. 2-0. Sutton again. Good turn, and that'll do for a corner. Chris Sutton having a real impact this afternoon. Wilcox's set piece. Headed towards goal, that's going to be a tap-in. Sutton makes doubly sure, his second of the match, and it's number 3. And Rovers score from their second set piece. 2 corners, 2 goals. This one whipped in first time, it had the pace on it. Berg's header nearly scored, and Sutton's strike was deflected in. Williams for Coventry. Headed away well. And Coventry just not at the races today. 3-0 down, here's Wilcox again. Oh, fine pass, Sutton. Good awareness, Sherwood, lovely play, superb goal from Giorgio Donis. Really was unselfish play from every Rovers player. There aren't many better goals than that. Lovely pass by Sherwood, good first touch, and a precise finish. Magical stuff. 4-0 now, and Rovers in cruise mode. Look at this. Got a bullet one there, Wilcox, and Agrizovic, a busy man again.
Another game where it was vital that we got something from the game, and I thought we finished up winning 4-0, and you know that was about right for the performance really. I mean we battered them in many ways. I know they lost Dublin early on in that game for a bad foul on Henningberg. I think he'd been sent off the previous week or something like that, but certainly that was a turning point. That certainly helped us to play against 10 men, but there's been times in games where 10 men have made it very, very difficult for 11 men, and they finished up winning the game as the 10 men, but not on this occasion. We played very well. We could pass it where we wanted, when we wanted, and I mean it was such an open game as far as we were concerned. I mean we could do what we wanted, and we finished up winning 4-0, and it certainly helped our goal difference as well.
A 0-0 draw with Sunderland came before our first league defeat in 5 games at Tottenham.
Hendry! Brilliant finish from Colin Hendry. He flew in there to equalise for Blackburn with a goal of real quality.
But back at home, a 2-1 win over West Ham helped keep those relegation worries, still far from exercised, at bay.
Graham Lasso with space on the flank again. Might try and have a run himself here. So Gallagher. This is going to be a wind-up strike first time, and deflected, and Les Seeley knew that it was close. Jeff Kenner's got a real dig on him when he lets them go. Wasn't far away. Kenner, good running field. It's a fine turn. Flitcroft. Back to Jeff Kenner. Oh, Wilcox has hit a good one there, and Seeley this time has to tip it over. Good save. Wilcox gets the ball over despite being under pressure, and Tim Sherwood got up well either side of the keeper. That could have been a goal. It's a great leap, straight at Seeley. Gallagher turns inside Dix. Kevin Gallagher, he's done it again for Rovers. Gallagher on fire at the moment, and Dix completely wrong-footed, and the finish was class. 1-0. Well, it was a high foot, and the referee's given it for that reason. West Ham sleeping as Blackburn take the free kick, and Chris Sutton punishes them with a glorious header. Sutton scores again, Sherwood's ball, and that's the finish. Cracker, 2-0. Shot charge down, there's Rio Ferdinand. He's got one back for the Hammers, and that was a good finish by Rio Ferdinand.
And then came the return visit of Coventry City for the 4th round of the FA Cup.
Graham Lasso, lovely through ball, Sherwood first time. What a start for Rovers. First minute goal for the captain. Lasso's through ball weighted nicely, and the finish spontaneous. Shot driven in there. Ian Jess with a chance. It's 1-1, and Jess has got the equaliser. Huckabee's going to run onto this. He's got great pace, and he's got a good finish on him. It's 2-1 Coventry City.
That was our first defeat at Ewood. We were hoping for a cup run as well. I mean, people kept saying we were a cup team, and I kept saying, can you tell us what a cup team is? I just can't understand what a cup team looks like. Do they have more chance of winning a cup match than a Premier League game? So I think it was the 4th round, Coventry. We'd beat Port Vale in the 3rd round. And people were talking about us getting to Wembley, and I just couldn't understand it. I think we were 16-1, and people were rating us quite highly. So to lose to Coventry was a major disappointment for a lot of the players as well. They saw a little bit of glamour. You know, we're fighting to stay in the league, which, you know, is not very nice. And they see a cup run as a bit of glamour and a bit of, you know, publicity and whatever else goes with it. And to lose to Coventry on the day were very, very disappointing. And you know, I think it was a blow to one or two of the players.
The news of Sven-Goran Eriksson's defection came as Rovers prepared to play at Anfield, where a 0-0 draw was achieved. By the time Sunderland came to Ewood a week later, the board had moved swiftly to appoint Roy Hodgson to take charge at the end of the season.
Throw in for Jeff Canner. He's got the distance, and the keeper's all over the place and rattles the crossbar. Graham Lasso, so much composure on the ball, good awareness, and that could curl dangerously as well, and Perez has to fist it over. Not the tallest of keepers. Rovers so good from set pieces this season, and the keeper again doesn't look the most convincing, and Gallagher's there. What a beauty. Kevin Gallagher, he passed it into the net. It was a technician's goal, this. Look at that, so precise. And it's in off the post.
Roy Hodgson is coming.
Yeah.
You've met Roy, or I think you've spoken to Roy on the phone, haven't you? Hope to meet him shortly.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on him?
Well, I think the timing of the appointment was excellent from the club. I think after Sven had disappointed everybody by his U-turn, to go and get Roy more or less straight away, again, lifted some of the players who were a little bit disappointed with the Sven Goranson situation. So from that point of view, the timing was brilliant. I mean, I've spoke to him on 3 or 4 occasions. He's positive and he's ready to come when Italy either release him or, you know, the season's over. And again, we've spoke about similar things that I spoke to Sven about. So he's quite positive in everything he says, and there's an air of excitement, and let's get on with the job from him when I've spoke to him.
To Chelsea next, where Per Pedersen, a £2 million capture from Odense, scored in only his second start for Rovers, earning another vital point. Relegation-threatened Nottingham Forest came to Ewood with their own new striker, Pierre van Hooijdonk, but left with only a single point after a spectacular strike from Kevin Gallagher cancelled out their early lead.
Wilcox looks for support, picks out Gallagher, good turn into the area, Kevin Gallagher, perfect pass, Sherwood hits the bar, oh, he's nodded it down, Gallagher's there, that is class. Kevin Gallagher does it again, and a real special finish. Sherwood does his job, but look at that.
And Gallagher was the star of the show once more when Wimbledon were the visitors the following weekend.
Sherwood first time ball, that's certainly not sound defending, and that was travelling. Graham Lasso. Flowers. A good flick down. Gallagher's chasing it. Oh, the keeper spilled it. Kevin Gallagher will score. 1-0 Rovers. An absolute gift. And Kevin Gallagher can't believe his luck. Credit to him, he was persistent. He chased Sullivan all the way. Keeper completely lost it. And there's Gallagher's goal, 1-0. Flipcroft. Good passing from Rovers. Flipcroft continued his run. Sherwood now. Kenner. Oh, good little chip. And that's really good work by Rovers. Kenner drives the shot. And he struck it beautifully. Good work by Lasso. A fine challenge. Oh, and it's a beautiful ball. Good running from Pedersen. Per Pedersen with an opportunity. Through the hands of Sullivan. And Gallagher's done it again. 2-0. His second of the match. And Neil Sullivan having a nightmare for Wimbledon. Pedersen was quickest off the mark. It was a good strike. Sullivan has to deal with it better than that, though. And Gallagher taps in again. Colin Hendry. Caught in possession. Marcus Gale, good running by him. And that's one back for Wimbledon. Efenikoku finishes the move that Gale started. Henningberg. Gallagher with the first time pass for Pedersen. Checks infield, puts it in on the deck, and Gallagher has got the hat-trick. Kevin Gallagher, the hero again for Blackburn.
Gallagher's hat-trick made him and Chris Sutton equal top scorers, with 11 strikes apiece.
It's magnificent. I mean, I don't think really I'll score an easier hat-trick in the career. It'll probably the rest of my career, really.
You've got 5 goals now in the last, 3 or 4 matches. It's a good spell for you, this, isn't it? The best you've had?
Yeah, it's been going well for me. Goal scoring wise, it's picked up better for me now, so me and Lon may it continue really.
Without being too unkind to the team, we haven't got many goal scorers in the side. So when you look at your team, Chris might score you a goal, Kevin might score you a goal, but then you're looking who else might score you one. So you need them to keep fit and you need them to keep scoring the goals, and if there's a competition between them, an healthy competition, then all well and good, and they certainly scored vital goals for us.
But the battle for safety still wasn't won, and now it faltered with the 2-1 defeat at Middlesbrough, another threatened club.
There's Juninho, 1-0 to Borough, super finish. Ravanelli, no offside. The Italian still going, oh that's cheeky. Nutmegs Flowers. Wilcox, right-footed ball in, good leap by Sutton. He gets a goal back for Rovers.
And a 2-0 reverse at home to Aston Villa, chasing their place in Europe, followed.
Fine finish from Tommy Johnson. Oh, Hendry's not dealt with that well. Dwight York round the keeper.
Next followed a 0-0 draw at Leeds, which can't have surprised anyone. But then another defeat at home, this time against Manchester United.
Scholes to Cantona. He's trying to find Cole. Andy Cole's in there and he squeezed it past Flowers. Manchester United have the lead. Blackburn desperate to get back into this match. Punch clear by Van der Gouw. McKinley's hit that first time. Brilliant goal from McKinley. It went like a bullet and it beat Van der Gouw, the Dutch keeper. Chose to fist it clear there, and McKinley had one thought in his mind, and that was to rifle it in.
What a way to celebrate your first goal of the season. It's the first goal for Rovers as well from Billy McKinley.
Struck it really true. Bottom corner. Van der Gouw beaten, it's 1-1. Here comes Andy Cole. Scholes is there, Scholes! There was no stopping that one. Cole has got round the back, Andy Cole, and in front of the net is Eric Cantona for 3-1. Sherwood. No offside. Good turn into the box and Warhurst there. And Paul Warhurst has scored.
That defeat left Rovers still in trouble at the foot of the table. But a 1-1 draw at Arsenal took them closer to safety. Flickcroft with an 89th minute equaliser. And Rovers were definitely safe after a thumping 4-1 victory over Sheffield Wednesday.
Free kick for the skipper. Delivered well. Headed down and a goal for Henningberg. 1-0 for Rovers. Attacking it well in the penalty box. Henningberg gets the strike. Sherwood stroked it in. Sutton did the hard work. And Henningberg was first to the ball. 1-0. Graham Lasso. Swept up wide. Another promising attack here. Jeff Kenner. Another opportunity to pull it back. And it goes again. Headed down well by Sutton. Sherwood's there. Oh, that's a deft finish. Stylish stuff from Tim Sherwood for number 2. McKinley swept it in. Sherwood again wins the header. And that was a classy finish. Make no mistake about it. Rovers winning all the flick on. Sherwood. Gallagher out wide. Graham Lasso. He's going to have a run. Lasso still going. And that's number 3 with the right foot. Graham Lasso smacks it into the back of the net. And Rovers are just steamrolling Wednesday. It's a good run in the first place. And an understanding here. And the finish was never in doubt. Side netting, 3-0. Gallagher, that looks like a good ball. Oh, what a sublime turn. And just wide, that would have been the icing on the cake. Graham Lasso with absolute class there. Oh, it's another good run. And there's the strike just wide. Per Pedersen trying to get on the score sheet. To the far post, Sherwood wins the header again. Want everything in the air, Rovers. Flitcroft. Good vision. Sherwood. Far post, headed back down. There's the strike from Gary Flitcroft for number 4. Sherwood again pulling the strings, and when it was nodded down to Flitcroft, that was the textbook finish. Kept it low. Reggie Blinker, who was dispossessed there unfairly, says the referee. Penalty kick given. Gary Flitcroft can't have too many complaints about that. Carbone. Oh, there's nothing Flowers can do about that.
41 points meant almost certain security in the Premier League.
Was there a belief now that Blackburn Rovers could survive?
Well, at that time, yeah. I mean, we were full of belief even from the first game when we got beat. We believed that we were going to get out of trouble. It certainly was going to take a long time. It was going to take months and months, which it proved so. I mean, that was right. You don't just get 4 points from 10 games, 11 games, and then all of a sudden you start winning games and you've got 4 or 5 wins on the trot. It doesn't happen like that. You win a couple, you draw one, you lose one, and it's going to take months and months, all season in fact, to get out of trouble because of the 3 points for a win and the 3 points for a defeat. 2 defeats, you're back looking at the bottom. 2 wins, you might be looking at a European spot, and that's how it changes. But we certainly had belief early on in the season, and if we didn't have had belief, then I don't think we'd have got out of this.
It was an uneventful end to the season. Rovers lost 2-0 at the Dell, where Southampton were scrambling to safety, and drew 0-0 when Middlesbrough came in search of 3 points, which would have given them safety. And on the final day, with the issues for both teams decided, Leicester were the winners at Ewood in an entertaining 6-goal game.
Steve Claridge puts in the cross, there's the header, and Rovers fall behind to Emile Heskey's goal. Good play there, Sutton. Good effort by Sutton, good save by the keeper, but it's into the back of the net from Gary Flitcroft. First time strike charged down, but a real mishap in there, and it's 1-1. Claridge again, running through the wind and rain. Claridge into the penalty box. Steve Claridge, he's put Leicester ahead. Fine break by Heskey. He's got good pace. Heskey! That's unstoppable. And it's 3-1 Leicester. Stuart Ripley. Good body swerve. Ripley, that's good wing play. There's the header. And Graham Fenton gets Rovers right back in it. 3-2 now. Super ball in by Ripley. And a fine finish. Graham Benton. Claridge out wide. Jamie Lawrence. It's gone deep. Headed back in there. Oh, and it's gone in.
So after a by no means uneventful season, we'll leave the last word to the man who dragged Rovers back from the brink. Has the experience changed him?
I don't know whether it's changed me. I mean, you'd have to ask other people, I think, about that. But I think you do have to change a little bit. I mean, where you can have a laugh and joke with all players as a coach, I don't think you can do that as much as a manager, because they kind of look at you and say, well, he's not picking me in the team. I'm not too friendly with him now. So it does change you a little bit, but how much, I don't really know.
What's the most difficult aspect of the job?
I think the difficult aspect is telling people when you're leaving them out the side, or when somebody knocks on your door and asks why are they not in the side. You know, you probably sometimes have to tell the home truth why they're not in the side. It's keeping the players happy who are not in the side. I mean, the 11 who play, there's no problem because they want to be in the side and they're happy enough with that. But it's the ones who are not in and the ones who have dropped, and they're the people who cause you a problem more than anything.
And what's the best aspect of the job? Is it being mobbed in Asda?
No, I wouldn't say that's the best part of the job. I think the best part of the job is actually seeing Blackburn supporters after we've won a game, or we've won a few games, or we've got a few points, and seeing their faces and seeing their reaction, because the supporters are marvellous people. I mean, a lot of Blackburn supporters, like other supporters, don't earn a lot of money. They may go without different things in their life, but they'll always buy the match ticket, and their life is football. They work and they buy the match ticket and they watch Blackburn Rovers play. And to see and hear them after what's happened early on in the season is the best part of the job.
Other clubs must be looking at your record now as a caretaker manager in different spells, not just this one, and say, well, he'll do for me. He can have the job at this club. Would you be tempted?
Well, it'd be very nice. I mean, like I've said before, to get a pat on the back for people to be talking about you as probably you can do the job at another club is very nice, and you know, that's pride in what you do. But I hope that I'm here for many years to come, working alongside Roy, and if anybody else comes in, working alongside him as well. But you know, Blackburn Rovers, I think, is my life, and I think I'll be here for many years to come.